Welcome to the Degenerate Nation podcast. I'll never be able to say it. Welcome to the Degeneration podcast. I'm coffee drunk again. Oh God, it's after 10 p.m. Eastern time again. I'm with Wendy.
Good evening, Daddy.
Daddy's on his parents' casting couch right now. I no longer live with them. However, I am cat sitting, going back and forth to my parents' house and my apartment. And right now, I've got the casting couch all to myself, and Wendy's joining me digitally on said casting couch. It's red. It's got a blanket over it, a sheet over it, striped. Oh, striped like you forgot to wipes. So basically, Wendy, do you know what day it is?
What day is it?
Closing ceremonies for the DNC. Let's go. So everyone, they're in a city that I was basically born around. I was born outside Chicago, which is why I'm still a Bears fan and all that. Cubs, Bears, Bulls, Cubs, Blackhawks, etc. And Southside Chicago does not the best rep in the world, so therefore Chicago also doesn't have the best rep in the world. But what are they doing there? They're in their let them eat cake era because fucking Beyonce is supposed to be coming out any minute now, allegedly, and maybe she already did. Maybe when you read this, Beyonce already ate Taylor Swift's box, and vice versa, on a stage in a house that Michael Jordan fucking built. Okay, Michael Jordan fucking built that. So whoever ends up being president, whether it's Kamala or Trump or some other disastrous possibility, Jordan built that place, so they know everyone should be paid deference to Jordan. It's a big arena, one of the best, finest arenas. Jordan is the GOAT, but I'm the president, or whatever. I can't do it anymore. Once you hear enough of them, it takes it down a notch. So, are you excited to be potting when you could also be watching two pop queens just chow each other's boxes on a political stage?
I'm torn in half with my decisions. I just can't make up my mind. I don't know.
I mean, you just leaned into it. Daddy pulled you into this mess instead.
That's okay.
Daddy's not sorry. Daddy's never sorry.
No, quicksand doesn't judge. It just sucks.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't care where the listeners stand politically. They should stand nowhere because this is a disaster. It always has been. But so we're not saying don't vote. I'm just saying your vote it's fine. It's fine. You know what? You should participate in the process, I guess, by going out there and be there's all these people and they're some of them are excited. What? There's volunteers for these candidates to pass out information. You should go for your own ego. Oh my God, look at this swine around me. Ugh. It's almost makes you long for the COVID days where you can just mail something in, because you're not that I want COVID to come back. Oh God, we're getting canceled. We just feel that Wendy, we just feel that the election process has run its course in America. The two-party system is garbage because the two parties continually churning out this garbage shit. I mean, you when you think a cool party, just the word party, what do you think? Big old college house party, a championship parade, a quinceañera that gets lit as fuck, or just that bar mitzvah where they're doing the thing with the chairs. Do they only do that at the wedding?
I think so. It's just the wedding.
What do they do with the chairs on the bar mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs? Bar mitzvahs. Sorry.
Oh, don't they dance around?
They do some cool shit, right? So when you think party, you think that. This is just a 70s Tupperware party where no one changes keys and no one eats each other. Open the box, eat the box. None of that. It's just straight up Tupperware. Or those sad sex toy parties, where it's there's someone blown out woman just in a leather jacket, cracked leather jacket, just demonstrating on your kitchen counter. Or your fucking
her
coffee
face
table.
is as cracked as her jacket.
She's got a cracked face, a cracked jacket. She needs that sale, and Meredith ain't buying, right? And that's what I think of when I think this two party system is a cracked ass love consultant fucking trying to get Meredith to buy. Okay, well Meredith is tired of this shit. This party sucks. These parties fucking suck. We're fucking done with it. Okay, flush it. Do something else. Try something else. We literally exist because we fucking tried something else, right? I mean, yeah, we adapt. America was we used to call it a melting pot. Now it's just fucking melting down, right? Like, it was like everyone from every era, like, you know, like, from every era of, like, suffering from other countries came through, was like, let's go, this place. And they're like, yo, I'm bringing my food, though. I'm bringing my faith. I'm bringing my family traditions. We're like, yeah, cool. Except the people that were already there were like, no, the Italians, no, the Irish, no. And everyone just like, we gutted this stuff out, apparently. Our ancestors were just, still wanted to be here. Does that show you how much the rest of the world fucking sucked at that point, and maybe still does? Because it's just ridiculous, right? I mean, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Pause for Wendy. Wendy. Okay, sorry. Wendy had some difficulties, but that's okay. Because America has difficulties, right? So, like, essentially,
right.
we were this melting pot that is now melting down, and everyone hates people that are new, apparently, and that's, like, the world over. And the rest of the world is just learning about it because they raise their noses at everyone coming in once it's finally happened to them. So they laugh about our immigration, and then it happens to them. They're like, oh, we don't want this. Like, you're not supposed to want it. You're supposed to embrace it. You eventually embrace it. Your neighbor becomes your friend, right? At one point, they weren't your fucking neighbor. You didn't know them. You didn't know that they had a hot wife. You didn't know that. A literal hot wife that fucks over their men. You don't know that. And most immigrants probably don't have hot wife in that terminology that fuck other men. But maybe they do. And maybe we should embrace everyone of every nationality, every gender, and every religion, and every this and that, if we can support our people, which we can't. And that's the problem. That's where, like, if Degenerate Nation has a stance on immigration, it's like, dude, can we fix all this stuff? And then it's like, then green means go. It's like green light, red light, green light. Fuck everything. Fix this place. It's the best large country, I think. But I'm also an American, and I've only been to America and Jamaica, okay? So I like Jamaica. I was at a resort. Fine resort. However, I didn't get the full experience, obviously. Right, Wendy? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck, Wendy? What is happening in this country? I don't know. Why are we...
Mrs. Robinson wants some answers. She wants that cute neighbor boy to come up with some answers.
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Give me your box. I've said box a lot. I'm going to say it more. Stuff in ballot box. Eat in box. You know, as you wait in line to vote for one of these clowns, I insist that you stop and think that at least you probably weren't anyways, at whatever time it is right now, Beyonce and Taylor Swift just scissoring each other in abject glory on a stage that Michael Jordan built with his bare hands, his large hands.
Smashing!
Yeah, so like...
Smashing that box.
Smashing boxes. I want you to think about the absurdity of that there are still apparently around 3% of people are undecided. But so, like, does that mean that you're undecided and you're going to eventually decide one of these are the right choice for me, or they just who? I would be like, I don't like these people. Is that a choice? It's like I'm going to vote for one of them or write someone in.
They're too busy shoving a 60 gauge, 60 milliliter syringe up their pee hole.
Oh, what if that was an option?
That's the 3%, man.
When I go to 3% vote,
3% is doing that.
Yeah, 3% is syringe piss hole, like fucking urethral syringe insertions, and that's honestly that should be the punishment. If you don't have an opinion at this point, you should get a urethral insertion of a giant syringe of oxygen. So you just you know what happens. Look it up. Bing it. When you get a syringe just of oxygen, it's not great unless that's what you want. That's fine. That's fine. We have a lot of people here, so you know. So basically, these undecided. It's just like, what are you? You're going to go through this process now? Like, do you read? Like, really? Do you have eyes? Do you have ears? These people are horrible. They're awful. Like they're not good candidates. They're not good people. Like I don't care what Hollywood production value the DNC has or what, infomercial production the RNC has, whether a My Pillow guy or fucking where's the My Plastic Bag Over My Head Forever guy? Like we need that.
Yeah, they're lubrication salesmen. That's what they are.
We need a hard reset, and instead we're getting like fucking. I want to see Dean Cain out there just like railing about how Trump is the guy or something. It's like, dude, you were in the third best Superman series, maybe. Like that's all you did. You played football, cool, and then you were then you were Superman. I watched that shit, but you ever try to watch that shit now? Fucking horrible. Adventures in Lois and Clark wasn't the best, but you probably diddled yourself to it.
Well, under the covers. Not out in the open. Never out in the open.
Did you watch it and then go immediately to bed and diddle yourself?
I watch it in bed.
VHS? I mean, like one of those boxy TVs? Box.
Yes.
There should be a drinking game.
TV.
If you're listening at home or where or jail or something, you should drink every time one of us says box. See how drunk you get.
And by big box TV, I mean I was in a cardboard box outside of a big box store watching the TV through the glass and then diddling myself in the big cardboard box outside the box store.
Within your box. Drink. Just drink till you die. The upside of drinking till you die is that you might not make it through the election cycle completely. And that's fine. Look.
Oh, please.
Look, we're not telling you to not be here. We're just saying you won't be missed for like that period, right? Like because everyone's just all up in arms about fucking this election, and people get spun up on the Twitters, the X, whatever, the TikToks, the media, the social medias, and in the end, these people are gonna fuck you anyways. They're gonna fuck you raw. They're gonna fuck you in holes you didn't know. They're gonna fuck you in your tax hole, and your mental health prescription hole, and your go off to war that you didn't ask for a hole, and you're losing families to war, losing families to homelessness, losing families to opioid addiction, all this shit. They're going to fuck you in every hole that could ever be punctured in with Wendy's syringe in your body, and your fickle bodies that you should take care of. Go for a fucking walk! Turn this off and go for a fucking walk! What are you doing?
Quit shoving your goddamn gullet full of butterscotch chips like the rest of us and just go for a fucking walk.
Go for a walk, you cow. If you're listening, you're a cow and you need to go for a walk. You need to go...
Heifers.
Go get milked.
Heifers.
Go get milked like the American public has been getting milked since the television was invented. Nixon had his flaws, right? Nixon was terrible. But people that listen on the radio thought that Nixon beat Kennedy in the debate. That's a famous situation there, right? I mean, there's been studies on it. I mean, none of you fucking study anything. You probably are idiots, but that's fine. I love you. Thank you for listening.
Something smells fishy.
Something smells fishy? You got props?
Yes,
Wendy's the ultimate
damn
prop
box.
comic. What you got your damn box smells bad? You gotta spray some Lysol on your box.
My Subway box.
Oh my god, you kept it. That's great.
It smells. It's full of old yogurt.
America in 2024 is a dry sandpaper titty fuck, but it's man tits.
So it's hairy sandpaper titty fuck.
Hairy sandpaper titty fucks, right? I mean, it's just
right.
like it sucks. It sucks. It's oh god, this place still has so much promise. This degenerate nation of America.
Drinking every time we say box. Just keep drinking.
Drink. If you find the bottom of your bottle, so help me God, pause this broadcast and go get another bottle of something. I don't care if you're drinking fucking Yoo-hoo. You must drink something. Because this can't be handled without like something in your hand, right? Something in your hand to steady you.
Drink ear cleaner.
Drink ear cleaner. Do something. Let's go. Let's go. America. The answer is not anyone you've ever voted for. The answer is not anyone you've thought about voting for. It is not anyone you will ever vote for, because those people don't give a shit about you. They don't fucking care.
It's not written on the side of a box.
No one is required to give a shit about you but you. So if you don't care about you, which most of you don't enough. You don't put yourself first, or when you do, it's when you're not supposed to. You put yourself first once you're in a relationship. No, that doesn't. You have to put yourself kind of like, it's a good relationship. You want to balance it out, right? Mostly a little bit me, a little bit you.
Right.
But most of you put yourself in a relationship. You get there, and then once you get there, you don't want it because you don't know why you're there. And then you stay in it too long.
Why do they think the grass is greener? I don't get it.
There's no grass. The grass is not greener. I've played that game.
Nope.
Okay, the grass is 100% greener, but it's not right away. And it might very well be a little bit greener, but you know why? It's because you fucking watered it, dude. Or you use Brondo or something. Like, this is paramount to being healthy in your life, is realizing that's like, it's not about who fixes you. It's about who you become to stay connected to somebody else. And it requires work. It requires change. That's what America is too. But we're all like Republicans and Democrats and socialists and whatever, libertarians and whatnot. And we're all fucking each other over, and we're only fucking ourselves. And anyone who believes in us is stupid at this point. If you're a party member, you're probably stupid, okay, at this point. Because depending on how up the chain you are of Scientology, you get less information, right? I mean, I've dabbled in politics. Like, I worked as a grunt here and there in places I will not talk about. But you knew what you were getting. At least I knew what was happening around me. Like, one time in this place, they let out a whole field team, fired a whole field team because they were just not useful anymore because the election cycle was ending. And I told Will, this is how we met. I was like, dude, they're going to have a bad news pizza party. He's like, what? I was like, hey, I didn't say anything. And then sure enough, they had brought in pizza, and they fired they said that they thanked the team for their contribution. And I was like, he's like, how did you know that? I was like, because I'm too fucking smart for this place. I'm too fucking smart for this shit. Like, obviously.
So how many pizza boxes were there?
There were like 7 or 8 pizza boxes. Box.
Oh, I love pizza boxes. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the innocent days of, maybe they didn't have this in Minnesota because of the literacy aspect, but do they have buckets for Pizza Hut?
I don't think so. No.
No, it was like this program you read books and then you get a free personal pan pizza.
No, we didn't have that.
Now you don't read as a grown-up. You could grow up not reading as a child, not reading as a teenager, not reading as a grown-up, and then you get fucked up the holes, all the holes. That's what America has become. Fucking you in the holes that you didn't know could even have moisture, because they won't. Not the way they want it. You're getting a dry box, dry dog, and and that's what we sign up for. And it's cyclical. Emphasis on sick, right? Because there's a four-year window, a four-year system, but they're always running for shit. Like, the congressmen are two-year terms. What the fuck are you gonna do in 2 years when you have to fucking get reelected? You get in there, and it's just great. It's great. It's great for them. The fucking craziest people around here now. Although, maybe back in the 1800s, right, Wendy? Like, what do you think? That they were, like, insane then, and we just didn't have social media, so we didn't know that they were insane?
Well, I want to know how they had, like, voting crap back then when they were trying to churn butter in their box.
It's weird because if you think about it, like, these people were wearing motherfucking wigs, and, like, that was the trend, and, like, this is when we built our
party. Wasn't there a wig party?
Yeah, WHIG, but yeah, I don't know what it was about. It was like the Tories and the wigs.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. That's some fucking
It wasn't fun like a furry.
No, it's leftover British shit, Like, I mean, we were.
You can't come to a furry party dressed like a wig. That's not gonna work.
Did you say a furry? Oh, because the wigs.
A furry party. You can't come to a furry party dressed like a wig.
Should we start a furry party?
That'd be awesome.
What do we stand for?
Let's see, we gotta make a list. Rapid fire.
Okay.
What does the furry party stand for?
Hedonism. Self-debasement.
Yes. Clean tennis shoes.
You must have clean tennis shoes to enter. Literally.
You literally must.
We stuff the box, stuff the ballot box. Vote early, vote often.
Shave box. Let's shave those boxes.
Shave those boxes. We are going to allow you to vote in perpetuity if you preserve your consciousness, and all you have to say is what animal you want to be in perpetuity. Then you're technically still a furry, and you're still able to vote. So, what would you be?
I think I'd be a mouse.
Be a mouse? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the round ears.
I think I'd be a
Little
duck.
whiskey tail.
I'd be a duck with a corkscrew dick.
Ooh,
Big old dick. Big old duck dick. Corkscrew in America over it because I'm running for office.
Slap it across my mouse face.
Bat it around like a mouse. What else do we stand for, Wendy?
Exactly.
The furry party. Vote furry, vote often.
I like the free lunches.
Free lunch. You know what? That's good.
Everyone.
Yeah. There should be free lunch. There should be free healthy lunch at schools, okay? Oh, fucking... All right, we're going to get to education. We're going to rail on that as the furry party.
Oh, boy.
Because, honestly, I think a lot of the reason why people become furries is because the education system fucking failed them. Because, like, this is what they're doing with their, like, with their imagination, is they're going to fucking empty conference room halls and doing furry shit. Like, have you been to a conference that has furries? I have.
Yes, I know. Ugh. They have a men's room, a women's room, a gender-neutral room, and then they also have the large-sized robo litter box.
They got a litter box. It's just a giant box. Yep. Box, drink, idiots, drink. So I went for Will's bachelor party. Out in the open.
There's no room for it. You have to take a shit right in the middle of everybody, right in the box.
I mean, they've already taken a shit on their legacy and their parents. They've taken a shit on their figurative shit on their parents. Because you know what? We don't talk about what it is to be a furry and why we become a furry. We need more information on furries. We are going to bring furry pride into the mainstream.
I would like to see the nation address with furry.
Oh, I'm on it. It's January when we hibernate.
Okay.
Furries hibernate. They have conferences and parties and they fuck forever and then they hibernate. So
I'm going to hibernate in the corner of the Oval Office.
Yeah, baby. So we don't...
mouse box.
We take a break. Like, we pump the brakes on the furry shit for MLK, but that's it for January. Mm-hmm. There's nothing else standing in the way. Nothing else. Not that MLK stands in the way. That's the wrong choice of language, but... oh no! So, essentially, it's... the hibernation period is when furries come out. Furries retreat and just talk about furry pride and stuff, and it's just all about furries. January, because I think that one's open, right? It's not like Black History Month or some. I think they even have a fucking Women's Month at this point, which is absurd. They have a Women's Month. It's like, dude, like there's over 50% of this country are women.
Yeah, it's over. I think 53 is it right now?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be more and more.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I kind of don't like having Women's Month. Women, we already have 1 week every month. That's enough.
Well, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's like, why do we need a month to commemorate something that, like, women, like, they design these months, these historical months with good intentions, and it's like, oh, it's Black History Month, because if you didn't have it, they probably wouldn't have ever, like, taught enough stuff. And it's almost like, when do you don't really phase it out if it's still not, like, mainstream enough that we know when, like, George Washington Carver, Jackie Robinson, everyone in history that's contributed in a major way, Frederick Douglass, and it's like, you need to know this stuff, right? And if it's not interwoven into white history or whatever history, then that's a problem, and you still need it. But women's history, or Women's Month. Like what? I don't understand. I just don't understand because do we not honor mothers with Mother's Day? Do we not?
Yeah.
And with honor the way that, especially the way that men often treat their mothers, which is much better than they treat their partners on average that they've had in their life. Like, if you took the mean of like how a man has treated women that he's tried to sleep with or has sleeping with or has slept with, compared to how he treats his mother, I mean, it's not even fucking close. You might treat your wife or your girlfriend that you eventually settle with or like live a power life with better than your mother. But on average though, so we honor mothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something's up with your mic.
What's wrong with my mic?
Sounds like it's in your box.
Oh, man.
No, it's better now.
That time.
Yeah, what was that? You hear it?
No. Is it a noise coming from the box?
Yeah. It's not me.
Sound engineer, are you available? Help us.
Kitty, come here. So back to women. They're awesome, but men are awesome too. It's like we're all incredible creatures, and like, when is this gonna stop though? When is this like okay? So I'll throw an example out. Apparently, like there was a poll that like 25%, or there's a 25% gap in voting for Kamala versus Trump for women without children, single women without children. It's like, okay, I'm no fan of the guy, as a politician and as like a human example of a human being. However, I can't in good faith or good conscience say that there should be a 25% gap for women that's not a minority, by the way, in any sense of the word. A 25% gap. A 25% gap, more like a 25% gash, right? Like that's just should be like 10, 15%, 5%. I get it. But like voting for like stuff about your body, it's just like it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why we're not looking at the future when we vote. Like nothing's going to change immediately. Like
God, quick grab a tampon. America's box is bleeding.
America's box is definitely bleeding. We really need a tampon, and that tampon is the furry party. I don't know. These commemorations. This isn't giving women a month to like celebrate womanhood when, I'm sorry, were women like enslaved in mass in America, or was that just how things were in the world where men went out to do XYZ and women did ABC? And birth children and were responsible for nurturing, because it was wrongly assumed back then that men weren't also nurturing in nature. I think the average woman is maybe a little bit more nurturing than the average man, but I think that's the physical component, right? Like that's the physical aspect of like we were trained to literally if the men like initiate the producing life thing, but the women carry the baby and they hold the baby and they have these, you have to have these like, to do that you have to have these like physical instincts, like, oh, it goes here, goes on my tit, or like, oh, this is how you do a diaper, and we have to learn from them, right? But now we can learn from fucking YouTube. Are you telling me a man can't learn to be a nurturing man from fucking YouTube and go into therapy? Fuck off. Fuck off with that shit.
I don't know.
I'm a nurturer.
He's smart enough to operate his phone.
I'm nurturing as fuck. You have no idea. And I just think that...
Suck on the teat of my daddy.
It's like, suck it up. Yeah, suck it up. You know what? Don't go to grad school in the humanities. Go fucking run for shit. Build a company. You can do it now. You went to college. Build a company. If you don't want the men in the board, hire all those women that went to going to grad school. 70%, 60%, whatever of women over men are going to grad school. It's like 60-40, 70-30. But here's the catch. Here's the catch, right? Men are still overwhelmingly going into trades. They're going to make a lot of money in the trades because the trades are where it's at. Because you don't need a degree you don't have to take all these bullshit courses as an undergrad, like first 2 years. to learn how to
Yeah, the
fucking do
Vox
something.
University.
Yeah, learn how to do something with your fucking hands, or if not your hands, learn how to manage those operations so you can start a company. You can hire the people that can do that. So like, there's more entrepreneurship among men, right? And so those jobs that all the women are flocking to, or like the grad school programs, are those suddenly going to go up if they're right? If they're right about like, oh, we have to do this because it's stacked against us, right? Well, then it's going to stay that way because the powers that be, the evil powers that be, right, are seeing that 70% of the grad school graduates are women at a certain point. It's getting wider. It's getting much wider. It's because they're not starting businesses as much. They're not going into trades as much. I mean, so they have this number that makes the people are putting the fear of God into men, like, oh no, they're going to be left behind. No, that's not going to happen. Because men, when they're little kids, are taught they have to be a man and like do this, take a risk, do this, do this. Most men don't want to take risks. Maybe stupid shit like getting drunk and driving their car, or like go and hit on that girl, then she's bad news, or whatever. Go play football and get your skull crushed.
I like her box. Yes, I do.
Fuck her box. I don't know. I just weird because there's no solution to the pay disparity of anything, because we're dealing with so many different industries, and you wrap it all into one statistic. I'm like, I will say this: we need a female president at some point. It doesn't have to be this one. It didn't have to be the last one. It can be the next one. It's like there's time, except it would be nice, right? It would be nice, but like that's not an endorsement of Kamala or Hillary or the next person. Certainly not of like some people that have run before, either VP or president. But like, we need this. You know why? Because we need to be like, see, it's no different. We need a shitty female president so badly in this country, and maybe we'll get one. There's a good chance we will. I think we need it worse than I think the number one thing we need is a crappy female president, like the worst possible.
Vote for Alice Box.
Vote. Yeah, stuff the box. Okay, stuff the box.
And vote for Alice Box.
Alice Box.
She is the best.
Vote.
Crappy president.
Vote early, vote often. Okay, vote for as many women as possible, and just wait back and see what happens. I guarantee you're gonna get the same fucking shit, because the personality traits required to run for office. One, an astounding belief that you are the difference maker. Right? Is that, Wendy, would you say that is a trait that is a positive trait in other aspects of society?
No.
No. It's horrible. I possess it. I know this, but I apply it to art, and I always applied it to tiny universes as well, with like fucking like fantasy football or like Turkey Bowl. We had to cancel Turkey Bowl in my late 30s because I was still a monster. Okay, I'm a fucking monster. I'm a daddy. I'm a fucking monster daddy, and everyone's daddy, and they know it. And sometimes you just have to be yourself, right? And then these women that are running for office are going to be themselves, right? They're not going to look at some of the prominent figures that we have. Nancy Pelosi, she's not particularly well liked. AOC, a lot of people don't like her. Some people very much like her. Oh, jeez. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, do I need to talk about her?
Amy Klobuchar?
Klobuchar? Nah. She's Minnesota. She seems nice. The other one, the one that Barrett Crockett or something? Her and Marjorie Taylor Greene were chirping back and forth. Ridiculous. So you're telling me we're gonna get less of that?
In the box.
Yeah, chirping out of the box. Do you think that box? Do you think that if we had more females, women that were in office, in power, do you suddenly think that there'd just be not more of that as well? Like the underhandedness, the cuttingness?
Seems like the easy answer, though, doesn't it? I don't know.
It's no. It's not like there's not. I mean, it's like there's still gonna be that. There's gonna be more of that, right? It's just they're off. Women are awful in different ways that men are awful. There's some similarities. There's overlap of awfulness. The Venn diagram of terrible has stuff full is a box full of men and women, and I just don't think. Okay, it is. Is it feminist? Or what feminism was designed for,
to say that men and women are both toxic?
No.
And we have to free ourselves from that and realize that the other gender is not the fucking problem. You are the problem. If you can't see through your fucking haze of wanting to fuck or wanting to achieve status through another person, which is women achieve status through another person, men try to achieve it, try to flaunt their status by trying to achieve resources, temporary or permanent, whether it's temporary in beauty or permanent with like something else, land or whatever, or kinghood. I just feel like they're awful. And once I realized that women are awful and great at the same time, on average, I was able to just relax a little bit. And it's like you don't put an entire chromosome type or whatever, XY, whatever fuck, on a pedestal. You don't. Because when you do, you start to resent. When you feel like you don't measure up to something that you've created, or somebody told you, hold the door, this and that, then you hold the door because you can check out their butt, right? It's like, oh, they didn't.
The pedestal,
right? They didn't
put us back in the box.
I'm putting you back in your box, Wendy. You don't. These people, the ultimate idiots, are not incels or simps, but just idiots, are the ones that hold the door for a stranger and then expect a thank you. And like, did you do it for thank you? Or do you do it because you felt like a good thing to do? If you did it, then that's kind. If you did it because you thought, you would get something out of it, that's your idea of nice, and you're a piece of shit. So you might as well have looked at her butt, because you're still a piece of shit. You might as well get something out of it. Okay?
Same thing for you, asshole.
Yeah, look at her ass. She didn't put on that pair of pants and go to the post office for nothing. Okay? Look at her ass. Don't say anything, though. That's weird. But look. Take a quick look. You held the door. You thought you would get a pleasant interaction. You didn't. So make it pleasant for yourself and then get the fuck out. Okay? I know I'm yelling at the audience a lot, right? When we were like right back to this, but I don't care. Whatever. They love us and we're amazing. Where can they email us their thoughts? What?
DegenerateNation@gmail.com.
There we go. DegenerateNation@gmail.com. Subscribe to this shit on YouTube and like wherever you're watching it. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, all these other ones. Wherever you're listening. We can tweet us at Degenerate Show. That's cool. You can always do that. We don't have a TikTok yet. I gotta learn about that. I don't care about my data going to the Chinese. What are they gonna do with it? Steal it? That's it.
I don't know. They're gonna look at me as a furry and go,
ooh, they might get into that furry stuff. Oh, I think that more Japanese style would be furry because of the anime and connection.
I want your sushi.
Oh God, don't do that. Oh God. My laugh right there sounded like a Ford Taurus's like fucking like chirpy lockbox thing. Lock button. Alright, so I want to conclude with a two-person rapid-fire rant style about how the furries are going to fix America.
Okay.
So, all right, we're trying to build a multi-party system, but one of this is a furries. Are we furries for freedom, or are we a restrictive, like ironically restrictive type of? Are we trying to cage the American people?
No, we're just furry centric. That's all.
We're furry centric. So is it like putting America first, but like for furries, put furries first?
Always put furries first.
Always put furries first. Correct. I think we need to have do we need to alter the Constitution? What are your thoughts on that as a furry?
What kind of a box is the Constitution kept in?
A rigid box, a stiff box. We need to loosen that box up. What?
Box? A damn dry, stiff box.
A stiff fucking box. So we need to punch that rainbow. Just fucking open up that box and like let it breathe. Let that Constitution breathe. How do you feel about the Second Amendment? That's guns. If you don't know anything, audience.
The right to bear arms.
Bear arms. Roar. Roar. We keep it because of the bear. No. I mean, no. This is. I don't. I'm not gonna jump over you either way. I mean, I know you're from an area where there's a fair amount of hunting and agriculture in general. Like, so, like, do you have a different opinion than me as like a suburban / city boy growing up?
It doesn't matter. Minnesota still has laws. You still have to get a background check to purchase a firearm from a private individual.
That's good.
Yes. And then apply for a permit and then do the paperwork. And then each party has to keep their paperwork for at least 10 years and be able to produce it for a peace officer upon request.
When does it get requested? I mean, they don't do they check? And as far
whenever the pizza box. Oh no!
It's all written on a pizza box as your permit.
Yes.
An old pizza box from your childhood from
Pizza
Hut.
Man! Now my box smells.
I farted directly on Wendy's box through the interwebs. Yeah, no, it sucks. I'm like trying to ask a legit question and then I fucking fart. It's just I can't have anything nice because I'm an American and that's what I do. Yeah, so I'm torn on it. No pun intended of what that did in my asshole just now. Yeah, so I've experienced, without getting into it and making this even darker, more of a darker, downer show, I've experienced what happens when a gun is used, we'll say, and being around the consequences. So, and I've also, the school shootings and shit have gotten so much inundated in my brain, and then just I don't know, it's parenting, right? It's not necessarily the tool, it's the wielder of the tool, but also if they're wielding something else, they can't do nearly the amount of damage, right? But our society is fucking crooked and morally, spiritually, maybe not morally, spiritually bereft, right? And I'm not just talking from a religious standpoint, but because you can read the good book, but not do the good work, right? And that's most people that do that. So but if you don't have something, if you're spiritually empty, if you have an emptiness inside, you're gonna find a way to either turn that emptiness on yourself, do nothing, or turn that emptiness outward, right? And the best way to do that...
they're just trying to... Yeah, they're trying to fill that box.
Yeah, they're filling that box. School shooters just want to fill the box. Yeah. So...
Fill the emotional turmoil of the box.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but it's people argue about so much about the Second Amendment and things like that and guns and what... They can't have a civil conversation about it. I mean, I personally, if I had lost somebody to a mass casualty event, though, I wouldn't be able to have a... I mean, I forgive anyone, or obviously not absolved. They don't need my absolution, but anyone that's been through something like that they can't have a nuanced approach anymore. And so you still need to take their opinion seriously because they're experts, right? But the people that have oh yeah, I know someone that died from a gun, that crowd. That's a fair amount of people still. We should at least hear them out, right? Because they're gonna have different opinions on that. Different opinions on that. That's the only one that's an amendment that's really controversial in my estimation, right? I mean, there's something I had forgotten about because we don't talk about freedom of speech and freedom to use guns have a gun as in the same way that we talk about other things. We're oh yeah, that one. Most people didn't know abortion wasn't an amendment. It was a court decision, and that's why it was reversed as a court decision because it wasn't they never made it an amendment. So it's okay, that's not the same. So that's a big issue we'll get into another time. But that's not the same as these fucking 1 and 2. There's a reason why they made them 1 and 2. It was on their mind, and it turned out that it was on people's mind later too. And they couldn't have foreseen school shootings. They had fucking schoolhouses with 11 kids. 11 kids, schoolhouses. You go to these towns, you go anywhere in the Northeast or Mid-Atlantic, and you'll see these old fucking schoolhouses. I'm sure they have a lot of them in the Midwest too, but it's just they had a fucking class in there. Oh, those poor teachers, man. like 11 kids, and you know that it's bullshit that they were all like well behaved or whatever. Yeah, right. Yeah, if they were afraid of getting beat by their teacher. What? Are you dying? Oh, I had to mute Wendy. She was out of order, and I can't give her an electrical shock from this position. She's experimenting with new technology that she purchased at fucking Radio Shack. Now she's gone Stooges mode. She's got that big ass syringe, and she's gonna put it in my pee hole. So furries are like, we're like relatively gun neutral because guns kill furries. So at an alarming rate.
There's no edit button on a gun.
No, there's no edit button. So we're not. So I'm personally not. I'm not pro gun, but I'm not anti gun owner. And I just think it's like, I mean, there's a lot of shit to do that you couldn't do before. Like, you can do like video games and shit that people shooting skeet couldn't do like 60 years ago, you know? But right. But I got no look, if you like going to shoot and skeet, that's cool. Like, that's fine. That's not what we're talking about here. We're not even talking about hunters. It's just like, although that's kind of, I think it's kind of, you know, lame. They don't get a gun. If the ducks and the fucking deer got a gun, fair game, dude. Survival of the fucking fittest, right? Fucking duck. The deer's like, blam, blam, blam. Bambi's like, you shot my mom, you motherfucker. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm gonna get you back.
I'm gonna get you back, motherfucker. Me and Thumper going to town, going to work on this shit. Mass casualty of hunters, man. Anyway, like, you take out a bunch of 55-year-old men, they're on a bender. What happened? Oh, a fucking deer took him out. Oh, his car. No, he shot him. The deer shot him. The deer went.
Wearing his camo.
It's like the deer with its little paw, like shooting fucking sideways, like a gangster with a 9mm in a rap video.
Take that.
Yeah, take that, bitch. So we're gonna table the guns for the furries. We're not gonna push to outlaw Second Amendment, I think, but we are for common sense gun laws and for finding new activities, like fucking while dressed as animals. If more people fucked each other while dressed as animals and believed that they're animals and shat in a litter box that used to be a janitor's closet, a giant box, drink, if more people did that, then honestly, we'd be better off because less people would be shooting each other or themselves, most importantly. And then, okay, so like freedom of speech, do you believe that there should be completely freedom from consequences with freedom of speech? Me neither. It's like, you said a thing on a thing, you volunteered that information, and someone fires you. And it's their fault? Really?
No, it's not.
They don't even need a moral clause. They're just like, you know what, this seems like a bad road. You know? This seems like a bad road to take to keeping you.
Yeah, just because you're free to say whatever you think doesn't mean there's not a price.
Yeah, because the price is what you think is stupid. What you think doesn't matter. You're only gauged by your actions. Your thoughts, if they're broadcasted and deemed to be unworthy of whatever organization you're temporarily representing, then they become actions in their mind, and the action is in turn that you get fired, and you should be fired. But I don't think people should be canceled from, like, if you're like an artist of some sort, I think it's a little different. Or a sports person, it's like, dude, you're doing a thing that people are lining up for your services, not your opinions. So, is it really their fault that they have opinions on things when they're put on this fucking pedestal that, you know, got a lot of young men put women on? Like, no, fuck the pedestal. Let them say what they want, and don't expect, like, it's a fallacy. I don't. There's probably a name for it, right? But like, it's a fallacy to think that someone with an elevated sense, meaning or power in our society, like an athlete or an entertainer, most likely, or a politician even. But politicians should be held to higher standards, but they're not because they're fucking awful. But entertainers and artists of any type, sports, whatever, Taylor Swift, whoever, they should be entitled to their opinions, right? But we're only finding out their opinions because we've given them this platform. And then we're like, oh my gosh. Like, that's what people really think, like, dude. Like, why did you think they'd be some enlightened person because they fucking travel the world throwing a ball at a net? I don't know. Or like playing a 3-chord song about their fucking ex-boyfriend for the 19,000th time. Like, why did you think that they would be special? Their opinions would be special. They're not special. They're men. They're women. They're boys. They're girls. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing inherently special about an American that grew up as an American and never was from anywhere else and had to come there. There's something special about most immigrants, I'll tell you that. They or their families had to take a chance. I was born here. I didn't take no chances. I fell out, and I'm ready to rock. And part of my duty as an American is to hold my nose when I vote. Is to look around at these other people and like, these fucking losers probably think this is important. They probably think they're making a difference. They want the sticker, fuck your sticker. And this time, you know what I'm going to say? Hey, nice volunteer that's just trying to be a nice person. Fuck your sticker. Fuck your sticker. Fuck your vote sticker. Just go vote, go home, and go jerk off because you're producing more than you just did when you voted.
Stick your sticker right on my box.
That's right. You know, go enjoy the fucking replay of Beyonce and Taylor just eating each other and everyone going nuts in the house that fucking Jordan built while Trump just, keeps huffing and puffing around and, go worship your idols. They're false. The only real thing in this world is Degenerate Nation. The only real thing is Daddy. Good night.